There's a devastating weapon in the arsenal of every human being. It is so mind-boggling that very few talk about it. Or maybe they do, and it's me who parties in the wrong corner of YouTube. Of course I'm talking about physical touch. Now, some might think that it's a trivial minutiae and doesn't mean so much. For those, I would tell, kick back and listen about the power that arises when two bodies connect. Now, before we proceed, I want to throw out there that the mechanics of touch is not the same for everybody, and you have to learn to understand small cues and differences in using touching techniques with people. There's a huge misconception about touch being solely of sensual nature. I will explain more later on. Oh Lord, hallelujah! Praise the digitization, dividing humanity since the 90s, I think. All these gadgets, computers, smartphones made people to lose, drum roll please, touch with reality. We think that liking, sharing, commenting, uploading, tweeting, twatting is good enough for communication. Humans are sentient beings craving intimacy and warmth. After all, it's programmed in our DNA to be social. Don't kid yourself thinking that it's just for the sake of it. Cooperation has its purpose. Survival, you know? That's how we overcame great adversities and became the dominating species on the planet. Not being the biggest, not being the strongest, nor being the fastest, but being strategic, using that large brain and working with each other. Our bodies are huge touch receptors, and touching is how we make the world around us real. It's how we interconnect with the surroundings. It's a huge part of how we communicate with the reality. Feeling, touching, it gives a sense of comfort, reassuring that we're alive. The magic of touch begins in the womb of the mother, feeling the vibrations from the heart and establishing the first connection with the parent. Coming to this world makes it even more crucial to have that comfort, because now the child's world has become much more larger than some cubic foot square in the mother's belly. Now here is where the things start to get complicated. As I mentioned before, the digitization has raised the pace of living and contributes to us separating from each other. Now what do I mean by that? The need for human communication is still there, but we have distanced ourselves by shifting all communication to the digital space. Less genuine, short, and fast. No locked attention whatsoever. To understand the magnitude of this tragedy, we have to take into consideration that more than 90% of communication is done non-verbally. Body language. So now, with social media devouring our attention, not only do we lose the possibility to practice body language, we also lose the direct verbal communication. What ends up happening is that many people starve for real connection. Nevertheless, no one can deny the fact that in general humans have become more lonely. Now think about the effect that touch can have on lonely people. Many crave connectedness because they are deprived of it from the childhood. Busy life, busy parents, absent love. You want more of something you lack. What you are deprived of becomes your God. Human connection is even more powerful and important in this day and age. Touch becomes a rare commodity and can open up Pandora's box of feelings. I dated a girl who was dealing with problematic teenage boys. As a social worker, these boys were so deprived of warmth, intimacy and attention, no hugs, that as soon as she showed a genuine caring attitude towards them, made them open up. They became needy, clingy, wanting to contact her privately. They became addicted to love. Touch is acknowledgement of existence. You talk to someone, you have a nice conversation, but in reality, it's an exchanging stream of air. Touch makes the bonding so much faster. It induces relaxation and comfort, makes people feel secure and even joyful. As I was saying before, touch has many different manifestations to it. A kiss is a touch. A hug is a touch. A handshake is a touch. A pat on the back is a touch. Every time a physical connection occurs, a touch is established. One key thing to remember is the more masculine a person is, the more subtle a touch has to be performed, which automatically implies lesser need in touch. Generally, the feminine, the nurturers, are more prone to use touch as the way of communication. That's why most women are generous givers and avid receivers of it. A touch tells more than words for a covert communicator. How can you use it in your life to benefit you? I would like to recommend to watch this video so you can understand the differences between masculine and feminine individuals. It will help you to know how to act with different people. There are so many variations to touch, but I will give you some ideas. Some examples of masculine touch: greeting with a handshake, which is a neutral way. Then there is a bro hug. Compliment with pat on a back or a shoulder. Express the joy of saying by touching the upper arm. Not holding, just touching. Fist bumps, job well done, or I see you, or bye. Some examples of feminine touch. Feminine is more emotional toucher, acknowledging the presence, hugging, kissing on the cheek, rubbing the shoulder or rubbing the back when hugging, touching you when laughing, making you know that you make me feel good, touching on the cheek, holding arm. Anyhow, it's a big ocean of touches out there. Touch helps to convey compassion, brotherhood, companionship, leadership, security, politeness, professionalism, intimacy, arousal. One thing to know: masculine touch is for affirmation, whereas feminine touch is for affection. This power is at your fingertips. Use it. Hossein out.